centre is set to bring about a series of amendments to the functioning of Waqf boards across the country, and this bill is set to face stiff opposition from several quarters. Among the amendments proposed are inclusion of women on Waqf boards, which will now have, till now has not had women members for that matter. And also non-Muslims, a clause that became inevitable since the proposal also includes on-board members elected from the Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha. So two things, women as well as non-Muslims likely to be part of the board. The bill also takes away a crucial part, stripping the powers of the Waqf board considerably. Till now, the board could unilaterally classify a property as being taken over as Waqf. Now, the final decision maker has been proposed as the district collector, who would survey the property and also enable representation for other Muslim sects like Bohras and Aga Khanis. The government has claimed these proposed amendments are a huge move for reforms. There are others who see attempts to clip wings and target the minority community. Incidentally, just today, these archaeological sites were a bone of contention in Madhya Pradesh High Court. Look at these. With the Waqf boards taking claim over tomb of Shah Shuja, tomb of Nadir Shah, Bibi Sahib's Masjid and a palace in Burhanpur Fort. The Archaeological Survey of India challenged this in the Madhya Pradesh High Court. The court went on to state that these were heritage sites, properties of the central government being protected by the Archaeological Survey of India and not the Waqf properties. In fact, to give you a perspective on how much land does the Waqf really own, look at this. The Indian Army owns around 17.9, Indian Armed Forces, I beg your pardon, owns around 17.99 lakh acres of land. So it's literally the highest in the country. And then you have the railways, which owns around 12.09 lakh acres of land, the second highest in the country. And then you have Waqf with 8 lakh acres of land as its own. This is the third highest in the country. But what really is a Waqf board? Waqf is a permanent dedication of movable or immovable properties for religious, pious or charitable purposes as recognized by the Muslim law. And the all-powerful Waqf board is for its administration. It was last in 2013 that the Waqf board was further strengthened with amendments adding to its might. But why is this issue so sensitive, so controversial? I'm being joined at this point by Feroz Bhakt Ahmad, who's a former chancellor for Manu, as well as Shalini Ali, who's a national convener for MRM, Tahira Hasan, who's a women's rights activist, as well as Professor Tanveer Ejaz, who's a columnist as well as an academician. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, can I first come to you, Mr. Feroz Bhakt Ahmad? How do you look at this? How do you look at this proposed bill that is going to come up in the parliament and already seems to have evoked very strong responses?
Yeah. In my view, I think these amendments should have come long time ago. Better late than never. Now, let me tell you the problems which have been happening in the Waqf boards of India, all the state Waqf boards. Now, what these Waqf boards were doing was that they were frittering away the important property, very expensive property for peanuts, right? I'll give you a couple of examples rather than just mentioning these things. I'll give you one example of, this house of Mr. Mukesh Ambani, which is in almost 5,000 square meters. And in 2003, almost 21 years ago, when its cost was 600 plus crores, it was given to him for a mere 21.05 crores. And such examples are not far and few. Many examples are there. Another example I would like to mention is, you must have heard of Chandni Chowk, which is a very famous Shahjahanabadi market in Old Delhi. At the end of that Chandni Chowk is Fatehpuri Mosque. This mosque has hundreds of shops. Each and every shop is worth 10 to 20 crores of rupees, and all kinds of, in fact, dry fruits and whatnot. These shops are there. Now, the rate of rent in these shops is something like 70 rupees per month, 100 rupees per month, maximum I think 150 rupees per month, whereas these should be lakhs of rupees per month. Now, all these properties actually were meant for the benefit of Muslim women who were orphans, maybe some children who could not pay their educational funds, fees, to maybe medicine, to engineering, many other courses. Apart from that, these properties were also for the upkeep of musafir khanas, of mosques, of many other monuments, maybe, in general. So, ultimately, what these people were doing, let me tell you the inside story of Waqf boards. All these Waqf boards, the main officers of these Waqf boards,
Okay,
and
I'll
even
get
the
to that. I'll
lawyers,
get to that.
they
No,
were
no,
just
I'll get to
selling,
that. I'll
they were
get to that.
selling the lands
I'll get to that, sir. Allow me just a minute. Let me just get in.
at
I will
prices
come to you,
which
sir.
were abysmally low. Yes? All right.
Okay, okay.
Just give me last five
Tahira Hasan,
seconds. Now,
you've
this
heard
amendment
Feroz
was
Bhakt
very
Ahmed.
badly needed.
Okay,
Huh.
go ahead. Go ahead, go
Huh.
ahead. Go ahead,
What I am saying
finish
is,
your 5 seconds before I go to others.
that see, okay, okay, fine. Let me complete it. See, as far as Muslim community is concerned, Tahira is there. We were on the on another debate earlier. Now there are so many Muslim women who unfortunately are left in the lurch, and platforms like Waqf board should have been taking care of them. There are single mothers. Now, like this, these Waqf boards, rather than doing the duty for these poor women, the poor students, poor community, mosques, and all these places, they were
Okay,
pocketing money,
got your point.
and
It's clear.
unfortunately,
All right.
unfortunately, nothing
Okay,
was coming
Tahira
out of
Hasan,
these
if I
Waqf
can have
boards
you respond.
except that the
If I can
officers
have
were
you
getting
respond to
the
Feroz
entire
Bhakt Ahmed.
benefit.
Tahira, Ms. Tahira Hasan, one of the arguments that is often being made is exactly what Feroz Bhakt Ahmed is really putting out. He's saying there's corruption, there's lack of transparency, there's a cohort that's working, and it's often against women and children, and the very intention behind Waqf, for that matter, to be able to provide support for these groups has completely failed, has completely collapsed. How would you look at this?
I agree that Waqf board is not performing the way it should perform. Everybody knows about it. There is encroachment of the lands and they are benefiting themselves. All the land that is under the Waqf board is the land which were donated by the people of this country out of their will, you know, by their choice. They had donated for the upliftment of
Right.
the community. So it should be used in the upliftment of the
That's right.
community. Like and education, schools, they are supposed to maintain schools, colleges, hospital, musafir khana, graveyard, dargah, but that is not being done properly. So accountability must be fixed. What happens
Correct.
saying the inclusion of the women? It's a good step, that it is I mean, I think just to empower the Muslim women. Women are marginalized in all community. In the Muslim community, they are also marginalized. So inclusion of the women, but what kind of women? Like Muslim personal law, there is women in in many bodies, but they are not vocal. They are puppets. So symbolic. So do we want that type of women in the this Waqf board also? I mean, what the controller will want to do, they will do. Or most of the these bodies are made by the whatever parties in power. Their pro peoples are had the main positions. So they should not be done. The people who are working for the upliftment of the minority, for the women, I mean, they should get the edge. They have too much, I mean, land and the properties and the money. They're rich. Waqf board is very rich. Why they are not running
Okay,
training centers
okay,
for our
okay, okay,
girls?
okay,
Why they are not
okay,
making a shelter home for
okay.
our
Before I go to Miss,
single women and widows? So these
okay,
questions can
before
be
I go
raised,
to Miss Shalini
but
Ali, let me just
accountability must
ask
be
you one
fixed.
more question, Tahira Hasan. If we Okay, if I can have our graphics right now up on the likely composition of the Waqf Council, if we can take that particular graphics. And I want to run this through you. Of course, we don't know the details of the bill completely, but according to sources to the Times Network, this is largely the composition that seems to be at least proposed. What part of it would be finalized is something that we'll have to see. So it's going to be likely to be led by a union minister, 2 Lok Sabha MPs and 1 Rajya Sabha MP. I mean, we don't know the numbers, but nonetheless, MPs from the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are going to be part of it. Muslim scholars as well as non-Muslims are going to be included in it. Non-Muslims obviously became inevitable because if you have to have a Rajya Sabha as well as a Lok Sabha MP part of this particular council across states, then you obviously would have had to have non-Muslims as well. And you're going to have women included in this. You're going to have advocates, experts, and so on and so forth. What's your primary objection to this at this point? You're saying you're worried that this may be just a Waqf 2.0, that it may again fail in its purpose. But do you have inherently a problem with this composition?
No, depends that how they are working. I'm saying, na, every time the party which is in power, their people will sit. You know, they will be in key positions, so they will decide. I'm
Right,
talking about the upliftment
right.
of the minority. The people gave their land, their property for the upliftment of the minority. That is not being done by these Waqf boards. But how that will be regularized? I mean,
Right.
thing is this: accountability must be fixed. Whoever is there, Lok Sabha, some people are going to sit or non-Muslims are going to sit. Doesn't matter if they are doing for upliftment of the community, for the Muslim community, which real position and status has been shown by the Sachal and Ranganath Commission. So that will be should be welcome. But if
Right.
not, then really these
Okay.
amendments are useless. If you know our community is not benefiting,
Okay.
community
Shalini
I'm
Ali, if I
talking
can
about
very quickly come to
marginalized
you.
class. Education, especially, I'm talking about the
All right.
education.
Okay. Shalini
Full
Ali,
stream of education. It's running in our country.
Shalini Ali, what Tahira Hasan has said is fair. Many people have the same concerns that you appoint committees, you appoint panels, you appoint boards. It all functions to the whims and fancies of the political party that's either in the state or in the center. We've seen very strong panels and boards that have been constitutionally mandated, but really act and pick and choose cases depending upon who's at the center. How would something like this ensure that this is not following that same track?
First and foremost, let me just get a few things on record. India being the only country which is even heading, which is even having state Waqf boards. In the other countries where Shariat law is being followed, you have a Waqf ministry. You don't have anything known as a Waqf board anywhere. So India has given this kind of I would say, a kind of a privilege where we do even have an existing Waqf board. We have a central Waqf board and we have state Waqf boards. Second point, about 6.1 lakh Waqf board property. 6.1 lakh Waqf board properties belong to Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, and Karnataka. Out of which, when the meeting was held with the Honorable Minorities Affairs Minister, Smriti Irani, please put it on record that West Bengal did not participate. Karnataka, Telangana refused to state anything except from saying that the powers should be with only the chairman. And when it came to Uttar Pradesh, they requested that something needs to be done regarding the records of the Waqf board properties. So when it comes to chairmans and boards being made according to the governments that are running there, I will put it on record that this is showing how the BJP government knows there is a need for reforms. is asking the people of the community to come forward, discuss it, and go ahead with the reforms. What is there in the reformations? Right now, we only have 4 ladies who are a part of the Waqf board. One is heading as the chairman in Jammu Kashmir, 3 others as members of boards in different cities. Out of which one lady in Uttar Pradesh, who is a member, and I've been saying it again and again, is fighting against the other members for digitalization. Uttar Pradesh also has a BJP government. Why is she fighting for digitalization of records, of renovations, of anything related to it? So let's get this also on record that we do have governments which are headed by BJP where there is a necessity and where changes are being made accordingly. Now let's come to the amendment of the bill. Why can't we have more women? When we are talking about progress of women, when we are bringing in a lot of bills for the women, whether it's CRPC 125, and when we are talking about women whose properties are taken away by the Waqf board, a lot of women who've had issues with inheritance, that's where the UCC aspect comes in, where I myself took a contingent of ladies to the chairman of the UCC, where we wanted inheritance rights also for the women, which happens to be there present for the Muslims. Why don't we have more women members in the Waqf board? Now, the utility of the Waqf board and the properties that are not used, I agree with, just 30 seconds more. I agree with it. But that's where a spade has to be said. We have the biggest charity in the whole world, a system of charity that is run, known as zakat, which is misused. We have the smallest amount of charity, which is known as fitra, which is misused by the community itself. So now the government has come in action where a spade is a spade. Things are going to move forward. We are all there to facilitate the government. We have been there to give them opportunities in the previous years, and we've seen that they have worked towards the progress of the community. It's time to shed inhibitions and let the government make the bill come across, and for us individuals, intellectuals, make it work.
No, hold on. I get your point. Professor Tanveer Ejaz, if I can come to you at this point. Professor Tanveer Ejaz, let's just look at what the Muslim Personal Law Board has said. And if you can have that graphics up on our screen as well. Now, it's saying that it is making easier for the government to usurp Waqf boards or the Waqf assets. It's gone on to say that after wielding the axe on the Waqf, it won't end there. And that constitutionally the Waqf board is protected, it cannot make amendments, so forth and more on, and goes on to say it's targeting the Muslims, it's not going to stop at this, and brings in other religions saying eventually it's going to go to that. Tanveer Ejaz, what is the problem in this? Do you see this as a reform, or do you see it as clipping of wings that some say is necessary and others say this is just targeting? How do you look at this?
Well, I mean, I see this whole move, to amend the Waqf Act of 1995 as a move to, is to bureaucratize the whole Waqf Council and state boards, politicize it to the maximum extent, and also, centralize the functioning of Waqf board, government taking, usurping the powers of the Waqf board, the erstwhile Waqf board, whatever the powers it had been given. And two more things which are very important here, which one has to understand. That look, if the whole idea is to help poor Muslims, I mean, it should be the obligation of the state. Why they are focusing on Waqf board? You see, Waqf boards is basically coming under one of our fundamental rights of right to religion. Right to religion is a group right. It's a group right, which means that Muslims, they have the right to own and acquire movable and immovable property and to administer those properties, right? So it is one thing. So why state is intervening in the, I mean, can the same
But
template
do you feel this particular amendment, if it does come through, is going to take away your right?
Yes, of course.
Do you feel like that?
Yes, of course, because then what will happen is that, the manner in which we would like to administer the property according to the religious laws can't be done. I mean, of course, if the other panelists say that these lands are being sold in peanut.
Out of curiosity, is that being done now?
Yes, yes, of
Is
course.
it being done now? Is it
Sneha,
being
I
done?
would
Is
like
it
to
being
quote an
distributed?
example
Everything.
which is happening. I would like to quote an example of the misuse of the Waqf land
Ma'am,
here
I'll come
in
to you.
South Delhi,
Can I, can
in
I,
New
can I,
Delhi,
can I,
where we are
can I
without
respond to
the
this?
we
Can I
are without the
respond to
chairman
Neha?
of
Ma'am,
the
ma'am,
Waqf
I'll come to
board.
you.
No,
I
the
think I gave you a lot
corruption
of
is
time.
everywhere.
Can I,
I think it's
All
a
can
right
I
to
organizations.
respond to
respond
Sneha?
to.
You see
All
No,
the
no,
fact
I
that
think, ma'am,
organizations.
ma'am, I think
the
we.
fact
I'll
that
come to you.
Land
I'll
of
come to you,
issued
ma'am,
by
ma'am, ma'am. I think
the
let's
you see.
let's hold it. No, 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 no. I think you'll have to stop, Shalini Ali, please. With all due respect, we gave you a lot of time. I will come to you
Can
for
I?
your right of objection, but this is the time for Mr. Professor Tanveer
Yes,
Ejaz
yes.
to respond.
Let
Please,
me
sir, go ahead.
let me. You see. So the point is, you know, uh, we have central Waqf council and we have a state Waqf board. Now it's the question of federalism also. Try to understand this, right? It's a violation of federal principle. Now state governments, they appoint the surveyor councillor who is SDM and DM, right? They survey it and they give it to the state government, and the state government, through notification, through the gazette notification, comes out with the properties, right? Now if the properties are sold, what Firoz Bak Saab is saying, it's sold like that, Waqf would not have held so much of property, right? It's there with them only. But the whole point is, I'm all for the functioning change in the functioning, in transparency, in women being, the act says, the Waqf Act of 1995 makes the provision of 2 Muslim women in the Waqf board. Now, the problem, suppose if we are not able to have Muslim women, it doesn't mean that all the secretaries and bureaucrats. Will the same template be for temple shrine boards? Will the same template be for Gurdwara Sikh committees? Why? Because of course it is the state's responsibility to cater to the
Okay,
poor
okay,
Muslims. It's
okay.
their obligation not to eye on the property
Firoz
of
Bakht
Waqf
Ahmed,
board,
do you want to very
which would
quickly
enable.
respond to some legitimate concerns that Professor Tanveer Ejaz has raised? He's raised that this is an attempt to politicize the entire issue, politicize the entire Waqf board. He's raised concerns that this is another deviation to the principle of federalism. While there are a lot of concerns with Waqf, would a constitution like this, and I mean board's constitution like this, really uphold what is being strived at this point?
Look here, Sneha, all of us in this program, including you, 5 of us, are very concerned about the fact that the rights of the Muslim people, especially poor Muslim people, the widows, the poor students, should go to them 9 lakh acres of land. I mean, they are not receiving any rent. They are hardly receiving any right kind of, the way these receipts are surreptitiously overnight changed. They call it pagdi, right, in Old Delhi. Now, Ejaz Sahab, let me tell you, you are saying that how much of land is there. In fact, it was lot of land was there, but because of the corrupt officers of the Waqf boards all over India, this has been frittered away. Let me tell you, Delhi, 77% of Delhi's land is Waqf land, whether it is High Court, whether it is Supreme Court, whether it is CGO complex, whether it is a school like Delhi Public School or any other, right, any stadium. All this used to be Delhi Waqf Board land. But these people who managed it, rather I should say mismanaged it, all this land has gone, right? And unfortunately, as far as
Okay.
women are concerned, poor widows are concerned, they are also not given their due. The government should just take care of this thing. If it is dissolving this old and petered out Waqf board, they should take honest people, right? Whether from the political field, and Tahira had her reservations about politicians, but whatever it is, now, come what may, a lot of time has been wasted. If these amendments are coming, these amendments should be not for the patriarchal construct of men, it should be for the women, poor women, their children, single women, and the poor Muslim community, their madrasas, their mosques, all the property, which is for
Okay,
common good.
okay.
So this
I'm,
should
I'm,
be
I'm
taken
out of
care of
time.
by
there is a
these
Very quickly,
amendments. This is
Professor
very
Tanveer Ejaz,
important.
you raised your hands. Very quickly respond. Maybe 30, 40 seconds is all I can give you before I go to the other 2 women panelists.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that look, if a
Professor Tanveer Ejaz,
official in
yes.
the Waqf board is a corrupt, there is a tribunal. You know, there is a tribunal. The ordinary law of the land can be applied, but the intention, you know, the whole problem is about the intention of this government. You know, there is always, you know, a lot of Waqf land is being acquired by the government or by any other category of people, right?
Chance,
And when there
right?
is a
Let us
litigation,
not suspect it, right?
when
Now,
no 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 no
the
no
Waqf
no no
board has
let me
done
complete
a
let
lot
me
of harm
complete let me
over the last
complete you see
75
there are
years.
so much of litigation
Okay,
there.
okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, there are so much of litigation between DDA and the Waqf board. You see, the DDA says that it's my land, the Waqf board says that it's my land, you know. So this litigation, and now once again re-registering of an evaluation of those land would open up a Pandora box where in fact the Waqf
Okay,
board would not
okay,
be able
okay.
to come up with
All
any
right.
any old deeds. So I think
Okay,
this is a way in which
okay.
how the Waqf property is being sort of thought in terms of that what is not legitimate should come to the government. So to prove land illegitimate and make it to the government, you know, that's the whole intention. And for
All
me,
right,
you
all
know,
right.
I am very
Okay,
clear that
get your
that
point,
welfare.
Professor. But very quickly, let me just go across to the other two panelists. I don't have
Unless
much
the
time, but I
government
think I
comes
need to
and
give them the
starts
last
managing it, let
few
us see
minutes
how
to
government
respond.
manages.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, very quickly to you at this point, Tahira Hasan. And let me just take it from where Professor Tanveer Ejaz left it. Earlier, he mentioned about how he sees this as a violation of his right to religion. As a
No,
woman, as a woman
yes,
activist, and as a Muslim,
yes.
how do you look at this?
No, Ejaz Sahab was right in that way that it should be universal. This is what he wanted to say actually. So the intention will be not taken in that way, you know. But we inclusion of the women, I say that it should be welcome. But bring the women from the community, for the marginalized community, as a member. Can't she be a member? She's vocal. She knows what kind of problem she is facing. She is suffering. And this land has been donated by the people of this country for the upliftment of the marginalized class. Let her be there. She is citizen of this country.
Okay.
Earlier, the one of the panelists was saying that one of the women, she made it digital, everything. And what happened? How it benefited? It was the process was going on. It was doing. It was not that one woman tried to do it, and she is so vocal. How much you have benefited? You tell me in Lucknow to the Muslim women. You go the Kashmiri Mohalla. You go Nakhas. You go the Chowk area and tell me. Right now tell me 5 names. So
You
this
see,
is
the act
not a
of
way. If
the
you
Ma'am,
are
at
act
least
of
the
benefiting,
nine.
start
I
was
am talking,
made.
I am
The
raising
start
this
has
It's a,
been
question.
made by a
No,
woman.
no,
The
let me
start has
complete
been,
you
it has
every
been
time you
started by a
interrupt.
woman.
No,
It's
no,
not been
this is
started
not
by
a
any of
way.
the male
This is
members.
not a way.
Today, if she's
This
trying
is
to
not a way,
get
madam. You
digitalization
can't
done,
interrupt
at
me.
least she's made
I
a
have
start.
been
What about the
working.
others who have
I
not
have
even
been
started?
Okay,
working in
You
Uttar
may
okay.
be working
Pradesh
All
with the,
right,
no,
for
you
okay.
may
last
be
All
working
right,
with
let
25
me
the
just
years.
come in at
women
this
Muslim.
You
point.
can't
Let me
Even
just
even
come in
now,
at
now.
this
even
point.
I
started
can't
like
Let me
even
just
now.
come in at
recently,
this
she
point.
started.
Hold
Make a
on, hold on.
statement.
Tahira Hassan asked
No,
a
no, this
question.
is not a way.
Tahira Hassan has
I'm
made an
saying,
important point. She has not
I'm
questioned the
saying,
fact
I'm
that,
talking
no, no, hold
about.
on, Shalini Ali. Tahira Hassan has made, hold on, Shalini Ali, hold on. I'm coming right to you next. Let's get the panelists on it. That's fine. We can keep their vision on. But let me just ask, you know what Tahira Hassan has said at this point? Tahira Hassan has said that there is an initiative that was led by a woman, but it was not by a woman alone. And what she is saying is, where is the advantage that has percolated to the colonies, to the localities that she has even specified? Shalini Ali, I possibly have a minute and a half. Please go ahead.
Okay.
I'm
Once
saying
the
to
race
work board
begins,
only.
once the
They
race
should do
begins,
it.
at least she has started on the starting point. What about the other states? You tell me, has there any digitalization taken place in any of the other states where a woman is standing there? You may be against a woman because she's a woman more, or are you against her that
No,
she's at
no,
least
why
been
should
there in
I
the
work?
no, because you've said that it has not made a change. The digitalization has started. Now it's going to come in as an amendment. That's a change. The government has seen that it is going to start working it. Are you against her because she's a woman, or are you against her because she was there, that she started the digitalization? You should be very careful what you're saying. The change may not be inevitably noticeable right now, but at least the change is there. And mind you, ma'am, you may be working with grassroots level. No, you may be working with grassroots level workers, with Muslims. I'm also working. What has happened to the other?
No, I think you've made a personal charge here, Shalini Ali. Hold on. Just a minute. Both of you fierce women and my panelists, with all due respect, you both will have to hold it. Shalini Ali has made a personal charge, so I will have to go to Tahira Hasan at this point to respond. Sir, hold it. I have to go to Tahira to give her for her response. Sir, please hold on. I think Tahira needs a response. Tahira, please go ahead, respond.
I'm saying, I'm talking about the benefit. What benefit they are getting? I said that the women are in personal law mode also, but they are symbolic. I mean, I'm saying the women should take the issues. They have worked, they have experience, they have worked in the areas, and they know where this is needed. So they will raise the voice against it.
That's what I'm saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are totally out of time.
Today, if the bill comes in today and more women are going to be there, there is a backing, ma'am. Only one woman or two women or 100 women are not going to make a change. The whole system has to change. And if the government is bringing in amendments to bring it, we should shut our inhibition and we should at least make it a point to at least
I know this is a very sensitive issue. I'm so glad that all of you have brought a lot to the table. If this is what's happening here, I'm sure this is going to be an issue. And hopefully it's going to be very strongly debated inside the parliament, and I think that's extremely important. That's something that everybody will be watching. Thank you very much to our panelists, Feroz Bhakt, Shalini Ali, Tahira Hasan, as well as Professor Tanveer Ejaz. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.